Here's the result for the guy you filled out the survey for. He gets a C+. plus. This guy is rather so-so. Not too good, not too bad. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you. Things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is much more likely to talk big rather than actually go far in his career. He might impress you with clever ideas or big dreams, but when it comes to doing the hard work every day, he struggles to keep up. His habits just don't support steady progress, and he's not one to fight for promotions or recognition.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he is likely to break down rather than bounce back. He finds it very hard to handle stress or setbacks, and instead of facing the problem, he often tries to escape or hides from it. He doesn't have the habit of standing up for himself or taking charge in tough times.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work usually find him polite and easy to talk to, but they may not connect with him on a deeper level. He avoids open fights or arguments, often stepping back instead of standing his ground. Colleagues might see him as a bit unpredictable, friendly one day, withdrawn the next.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he might not openly cheer you on, but he isn't likely to feel deeply insecure either. He may offer a polite congratulations and appear happy for you, but underneath, he could feel a bit left behind if your success highlights his own lack of progress. Expect a gentle response, not big support or open jealousy.
What if you start earning more than him?
He will not make a scene or openly complain if you earn more than him, but deep down it might bother him a little. He won't start fights or act out, but you might notice him becoming quieter or pulling away sometimes. He tends to keep his feelings to himself instead of discussing them with you.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He is not the most careful with money, and planning ahead isn't really his strength. He might spend without thinking much about the consequences, especially if something catches his interest or he's feeling excited in the moment. Saving, budgeting, or managing bills could be a bit messy with him, and things might get forgotten or left undone.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He's not one to show off or pretend to be richer than he is, but at the same time, he doesn't keep a close watch on his spending. If he sees something he likes or gets excited, he might buy it without thinking if it fits his budget. So he's not fake, just not very careful with his money.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He's not naturally warm or generous, but he isn't stingy in a harsh way either. Most times he'll be polite and won't make a fuss about sharing, but don't expect big kind gestures or heartfelt support. Generosity isn't his strong point, but he won't create trouble over small things either.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He's not the type to be secretive or controlling about money, but he also isn't very open or detailed in discussing finances. He tends to go with the flow and doesn't pay much attention, so things might get forgotten or missed. His approach is simple, not sneaky.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He isn't likely to insist that housework is only your job, but don't expect him to take the lead either. He may offer to help if asked and will be polite about it, but you'll probably need to remind him or guide him on what needs to be done. However, since he isn't naturally organized, he might forget chores or do them half heartedly.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He's more likely to help when you ask, but don't expect him to notice chores or diapers on his own. He isn't bossy, so he won't just stand around telling you what to do, yet he's not naturally hands on either. You'll get help, but it'll often be after some nudges, not from his own sense of duty.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He isn't the type to argue just to prove his point, but he also doesn't really try hard to understand your side deeply. If you share your feelings, he'll usually listen politely and won't push back or start a fight. You won't face stubborn arguments, but you may wish for more real effort to understand you.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he's more likely to withdraw or sulk rather than say hurtful things or act aggressive. He usually doesn't raise his voice or lash out, but his mood can change quickly and he may become silent or distant for some time. He prefers to step away from conflict instead of facing it head on.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, he does get angry quite quickly, but he's not the type to explode or start fights. His anger comes out as sudden mood swings, sulking, or withdrawing into himself. This isn't a red flag for danger, but it can be tiring for a relationship.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it hard to say sorry and take responsibility when things go wrong. Instead of admitting his mistake, he's more likely to go quiet or distance himself until things calm down. You might have to gently guide him to talk things through, as owning up isn't natural for him.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He will respect your boundaries and understand that no means no. He isn't pushy or forceful, and if you say no, he is likely to step back politely and give you space. Sometimes he may seem distant after a refusal, preferring to avoid further talk about the matter.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he may take it a bit personally when you're not in the mood for intimacy. He won't argue or get angry, but you might notice him growing quiet or withdrawing for some time. He doesn't make a scene, but his mood might change and you could sense some distance afterwards.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments with care. He's not the type to use your secrets or intimate experiences against you, even if you have disagreements later. If anything, he tends to keep sensitive things to himself and avoids drama or gossip.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is not someone who actively chases after other women, but he can get distracted if something new or exciting comes his way. He doesn't have the strongest self control, so if he feels bored or unappreciated, he might be tempted to wander, especially if attention from someone else flatters him. However, he is not driven by a deep need for excitement or variety. He mostly wants peace and avoids trouble.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he is not overpossessive, jealous, or controlling. He does not keep a close watch on you or question who you talk to, and where you go. In fact, his withdrawn nature means he's more likely to pull away than cling tightly.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective side doesn't turn into controlling behavior. He isn't someone who tries to make all the decisions or limit your freedom. You won't find him setting extra rules or using care as an excuse to boss you around.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He's likely to see parenting as something you handle more than a true team effort. He won't insist on old fashioned roles or fight about who does what, but he'll naturally step back and leave most of the daily tasks to you. You'll find yourself leading the parenting journey more than sharing it equally.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he's likely to lose his temper quickly, but not in a loud or aggressive way. Instead, he may become moody, withdrawn, or give them the silent treatment for a while. The house may feel tense for some time after small mishaps.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He isn't going to stop you from being your own person or from following your goals outside of motherhood. He doesn't hold strong opinions about a woman's role, so you won't face arguments if you want to work or take care of yourself. Expect quiet acceptance rather than strong teamwork or celebration.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, he is not the type to support your career now, only to ask you to quit later after having a child. He doesn't have strong or hidden agendas about what a woman should do. You won't find him shifting the rules or pressuring you to give up your work after kids.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is likely to be polite to your parents, but may not show deep warmth or genuine affection. He'll greet them, talk respectfully, and avoid any rude behavior, making sure he doesn't cause trouble. He won't be unfriendly or distant, but he won't work hard to build a strong bond either. He is more likely to quietly adjust to your family rather than expect them to change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he's unlikely to make things worse, but he won't handle it very calmly either. Instead of stepping in confidently, he might become anxious, moody, or pull away from the situation. You'll probably need to manage these situations yourself, as he prefers to wait for things to settle rather than actively sorting them out alongside you.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
No, he is not the type to act modern with you in private, but then expect you to suddenly become a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He doesn't hold strong views about how you should behave and isn't concerned with putting on a show for others. Your choices will stay your own with him.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he will most likely stay out of it rather than actively support you or side with his family. He doesn't enjoy conflict and usually avoids getting involved, hoping things will settle down on their own. You won't find him speaking against you, but he's unlikely to step forward and stand up for you either.
Say you have a conflict with his mother, what will this guy do?
He's not exactly a mummy's boy, but he isn't someone who will boldly take your side in a conflict with his mother either. His way of handling such situations is to quietly step back and avoid the drama rather than picking a side. He won't openly argue with his mother for your sake, but he also won't let her disrespect you in front of him. He'll just hope the problem disappears on its own.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is not the type to share every detail of your fights or your private life with his mother or sister. He usually keeps personal matters to himself, especially when things are difficult or emotional. You won't have to worry about your private disagreements being discussed outside your home.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
Based on all of this analysis, This guy gets a C plus. This guy is so so. Not too good, not too bad, a bit mediocre. Being in a relationship with him day in and day out is like living with someone who is gentle and polite, but often distant and not deeply involved. He doesn't bring a lot of drama or demands, and he lets you have space to make your own choices.